Everywhere I go, every single global Fortune 1000 company I'm dealing with is struggling with the issue that, competing on price no longer counts. Selling products is no longer the pathway to the future. We've got to move from widgets to service. And it's kind of fascinating to think about, what happens when we're in a world in which we're no longer selling a widget because it's not a widget anymore. Isn't that at a fundamental level the nature of the opportunity that is in front of you? You aren't selling devices, you are selling solutions. You are aligning yourself to the fast-paced change. Innovation isn't just the cool people like the late Steve Jobs who designed new products which redefined our world. Innovation is about an organization, it's about a sales team who is continually asking themselves 3 questions. What can I do to help to run this business better? What can I do to help to grow this business? And most important, what can I do to help to transform this business? You've been talking about opportunities to streamline operations, bring efficiencies into the business, take cost out of the equation through utilization of sophisticated IT platforms to become more efficient. That's running the business better. You've been talking about how do we grow the business? How do we accelerate ourselves into the new product lines and new opportunities that are coming together? Most importantly, how do we become a partner to our physicians as they align themselves to a faster future with bigger scope opportunity? And how do we become a partner to that process in helping to sell them the entire solution? How do we challenge what is in our sales kit bag so that we are no longer selling widgets, but we are helping to transform the business to take advantage of the scope of the opportunity? That's what you need to be asking yourself as you go home. You need to be thinking about where we are going in this voyage to a faster future.
Hey, Futurist Jim Carroll from the home broadcast studio where virtual is done right. There's been a really interesting trend that has unfolded over the last 10 years of my 25-year speaking career, and that is that a lot of corporate groups have come to seek insight about the future trends, and they've been doing this in big corporate offsite leadership meetings, almost like conventions and conferences. I've had a lot of events where I've had 100, 200, 300 people for a global Fortune 1000 organization in the room because there's been some big disruptive trend that these folks have had to deal with that the CEO wants the team to get cognizant and aware of and deal with the reality of the disruptive trends occurring all around them. So over the last 10 years, I found myself on an increasing number of stages where the company has spent a whack of a bunch of money to bring people from around the world to focus on key disruptive issues. There's been a lot of challenging issues out there. For example, I was brought into Nashville just last year by a global medical device company because if you think about what is happening in the global medical device community, the particular situation is they're no longer selling a widget. As I explained on stage, they're selling some weird, hyper-connected, intelligent, artificial, intelligent-driven thing. And so the organization at the leadership level, the sales team, the marketing team, needs to comprehend just how massive a transformation the company is undergoing. And that's where they somehow have found me. And they brought me in for these big global leadership meetings to set the stage in the opening with a keynote as to what is going on. A lot of this has been based upon the disruptive trends that I've been talking about for years. So if you go to the website disruption.jimcarroll.com, you will find a comprehensive list of 24 reasons why disruption is bigger than you think. And a lot of this has to do with what is occurring with transformative trends. One of the trends which I often talked about on stage, for example, was that in a lot of industries, as technology comes to drive the pace of innovation, the speed of innovation in that industry comes to occur at the speed of Silicon Valley. That is, it's happening at the speed of companies like Facebook and YouTube and PayPal and companies which tend to move a lot faster than traditional CPG or retail or healthcare or insurance or financial or other organizations. The pace of change is speeding up to a furious degree. With this trend, I started putting together a lot of videos in my home broadcast studio which really outlined what is happening in this era of acceleration. What do we need to do to align to these disruptive trends? So there were two trends unfolding here. A lot of leadership groups seeking high-level insight on the future, what comes next, where are we going to be, and what do we do about it? And a lot of work by me to get comfortable with the world of video. Coincident with this, I've been speaking to a lot of these disruptive trends in a lot of different industries. So take the world of healthcare. What's going on in the world of healthcare? Well, to a degree, healthcare is going upside down. If we ignore COVID-19 and the global pandemic, what is happening is we are transitioning from a world in which we, fix people after they're sick to one of predictive medicine, where we know increasingly what it is they are likely to become sick with and what we are going to do to deal with that reality. The impact of connected medical device technology, the acceleration of pharmaceutical science, new forms of diagnosis. There's just been a flood of trends occurring in the healthcare sector, and so I put a lot of effort into filming videos which outlined what is occurring in that sector. The world of energy, we're transitioning from a world where we're based on carbon and oil and traditional sources to massive distributed microgrid technology with a lot of renewable inputs based on wind and solar and other forms of energy generation, a world in which your car with an electric battery becomes a part of the energy grid. Massive, huge trends unfolding which organizations needed their team to understand. In the world of optometry, and eye care. Nikon Japan actually brought me over to Tokyo for a talk on how the world of eye care is changing with the acceleration of medical science, new bionic technology, the acceleration of disruptive trends, organizations like Warby Parker, which are changing the whole process by which lenses and eyeglasses are purchased. Massive disruptive trends underway. In the world of legal services, a lot of the world's largest law firms had me in for a talk on the future of law and how law is accelerating, the legal world is accelerating, and what they need to do from a collaboration perspective to align to that reality. How do we deal with a world in which new legal knowledge is emerging at an absolutely furious pace? In the world of transportation, obviously, the acceleration of self-driving technology, the acceleration to electric vehicle technology. Everywhere we look, there's these massive disruptive trends. And so I was spending a lot of time with a lot of organizations, a lot of different industries at a CEO level, helping them understand, well, what do we do about it? How do we align ourselves to the reality? The world of retail, kind of fun. Pre-pandemic, I was talking about the fact that, we were going to see a lot more online shopping. Look, in the world of agriculture, precision farming, the acceleration of very specific methodologies with intelligent tractors, 24-hour farming. I actually found myself going out to farms to film pre-event videos for the corporate events in which I was going to speak. And obviously the world of golf, I'd even go out and hang out in a golf course to film some insight on where we were going in the world of sports. The key thing is all of these trends, what is happening here is we've got a group of CEOs and leaders who are working to ensure that they can keep their team up to date with the massive disruptive trends. And so with that, I began to work in the home broadcast studio to film a whole bunch of sophisticated broadcast quality videos, which they would use as part and parcel of these events to educate their leadership team on what they need to do to align to a faster future. And then everything changed. COVID-19 became a part of our world. We went into lockdown. Everybody is working at home. And it is going to be a long time before any organization, any Fortune 1000, is going to be willing to take their leadership team to a corporate offsite somewhere to deal with the reality of what is occurring. So this world in which, I would find myself on stage in front of a whole bunch of people, it's obviously gone, but the challenge is this. The need for leadership insight hasn't gone away. And that's where I've put all my time and effort into my canvas of creativity, this green wall, to bring that leadership insight to my clients around the world. And I've got a really cool story as to what is unfolding right now to keep up with that speed of change. The thing is, look, I've developed this massive, sophisticated infrastructure which helps me to do this live to a broadcast audience worldwide with a lot of really sophisticated technology. Actually, it doesn't look like that. I got a green wall, I got 7 computers, 5 spotlights, but it is a massive, sophisticated setup. The thing is, what I've developed is a lot of insight for you by which you can understand how can you do virtual right? How can you still bring this leadership insight to your team despite the fact that they are in lockdown, despite the fact that you're working at home, despite the fact that you aren't getting them together physically in one location where they can network, you still have this crushing need for insight. And I filmed a lot of insight as to how you can do these virtual events right, a step-by-step process of what you need to do to go through and create a successful virtual event. And I've got a really fascinating situation unfolding right now. A global organization is involved with a major insurance conference which ran for years. And they're going to go in and they're working with this insurance conference to help them put together a successful virtual event. Somehow they found me, and I've been busy in the home broadcast studio here filming in front of my green wall a 15-minute video on how the insurance industry has changed as a result of the pandemic, as a result of COVID-19, and what we need to think about from a CEO and leadership perspective given the new disruptive realities. That is now going into editing with my overseas video producer. So we will prepare a very professional 15-minute overview clip which will be used to open this conference. So while I know I'm not going back to this world of the stage anytime soon, I'm discovering I'm still taking my insight out to organizations worldwide from the broadcast studio here. The thing is, the need for insight hasn't gone away. A lot of the organizations that were bringing me in through the years subscribed to my key line of thinking, and that is the future belongs to those who are fast. They've subscribed to my key line of thinking that what we really need to do is we need to think big, start small, and scale fast. They've subscribed to the thinking that we live in a world of big, massive, disruptive trends, and we need to align ourselves and adapt to the realities of what is occurring. So the format might have changed. The requirement for leadership insight has not. And if you are struggling with trying to figure out what you can do to deal with the reality of this new virtual world, reach out, take a look at some of the material I've put together. Give me a call. I'll bring you into the home broadcast studio, give you a tour of what is possible, but most important, we'll outline how I can work with you to put in perspective the new disruptive trends which are occurring as a result of COVID-19 and the global pandemic, and what you need to do from a strategy perspective to deal with the reality of that. That's it for now. Futurist Jim Carroll from the Virtual Home Broadcast Studio. Have a good one.